space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Bellerophon. Its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Captain's Log, Supplemental. The crew and I have arrived at the Federation settlement in the demilitarized zone. We were greeted by Lieutenant Commander Hudson, and he introduced us to several colonists with first-hand experience of the Cardassian brand of stewardship. In speaking with some of the more impassioned settlers, some developments have come to light. Their farm equipment has been sabotaged, several people have gone missing, and a few of the more outraged settlers have joined up with the Maquis. In hearing this, I saw it as a limited-time opportunity. I've decided to send in Lieutenant Archer to infiltrate their ranks and send back information as to their location and their resolve. I do this not only to complete the mission, but to test the mettle of my crew and my command.
Lieutenant Commander Kepler's log, stardate 47656.2. I'm not sure what I was expecting when we arrived, but it wasn't this. Some locals have gone missing, some disappeared to join the Marquis, and the rest are simultaneously terrified and angry. Which I find very understandable. I also ran into an old colleague today that I didn't expect. He's made his life as a farmer here after leaving Mars Colony. Some of these people have been here for generations. What's happening here isn't right. But I wonder sometimes, what can we do? And does the discomfort and potential relocation of a few outweigh the peace treaty for so many?
Lieutenant Archer's log, stardate 47656.2. The captain has asked me to go on a covert mission. I have to find a way to sympathize with the Maquis, to find their base. I'm excited that he trusted me with so much responsibility, but I'll be equipped with a device that will be able to send my signal to the bell and hopefully transport me safely out. But if all goes well, I'm sure the captain will be pleased, and maybe he'll be happy with my work. Archer out.
And welcome to the third episode of Star Trek The Bluejay Generation. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming back and for watching us.
Hello!
It is an absolute pleasure, as always, to join these lovely nerds in creating some cool Star Trek stuff. Thank you guys for sending the logs. I think that's honestly one of my favorite things about this show, is like kind of turning it into a little TV show with the logs in the beginning. So I'm super excited. How is everyone's week? How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good. It was 110 here at night.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's terrifying.
It was real bad. Yeah. Didn't want to be here.
Yeah, I would not either. That sounds really horrible. So I'm sorry that happened to you, Holly.
It's fine.
I hope that everyone else has been having a little cooler weekend. I know, Zeke, your entire cool part, you got some, like, what is it called? AC, I don't know. You cut off all your padding, all your insulation.
Did you use a straight razor for that?
No,
or did they buzz it?
Well, I used this for the Hulk Hogan stuff. Yeah, I razored it, so it was shiny, and then we bronzed it up.
Oh god!
Yeah.
But once those 4 days were done, I just took the clippers and just on the no setting and just shaved all of it.
No setting.
On the no setting.
On the none.
Yes, on the be gone setting.
At least we have the emote, so we can always remember. Adam posted on Twitter, like, evidently my kiss emote and your Hulk emote, just like they're making out really oddly. It's unpleasant and unsettling, but you know, that happens. DJ, I heard you had some exciting news.
Yeah, we went to Texas. Last week was a very busy week. We drove to Texas, found a house to rent, and flew back. So we have a house
Yes!
Yay!
in Texas that we've moved
Congrats.
to.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
And it was the one you really liked, right? Like the
It
one
was,
that you had already.
It was the best house of the houses.
Yay!
It was like nice. But that's the
Yeah.
only one we applied for, and they were like, obviously, you're good. And it's like,
It's always so, for me, like whenever I try and apply for a new place, I'm always like, my income is so weird and like not normal. I hope that like anyone that I'm applying for isn't like, your pay stubs? You don't have regular pay stubs? Well, fuck you then, I guess.
I know.
Yeah.
Because
I know.
like, huh?
go ahead.
No, it's just Twitch, the way that you get paid on Twitch and from so many different sources, it can be kind of weird to try and explain it to like a landlord.
Yeah, I'm just
Very
like, do you
true.
want to see my 15 W-9s or whatever they're called? Like,
Yeah.
That's why I like the I just basically took a picture of my email. I just printed my email in a PDF.
And they were just
They were like-
cool, that's fine.
Right. It was either that or like bank deposits. So
Yeah.
as long as
Oh,
it's
yeah,
one
okay.
bank, they're like, all right, cool. Give us your bank. What is it?
They just want to make sure that you can
Yeah.
actually pay for the house that they're renting you.
Right.
I just always get really nervous about it. But thankfully, I don't have to do that again for like at least a year. So we're good. We're good. I'm glad that you found a place that you really liked.
Thank you.
Moving
We're super
on.
stoked about it. Like the office is massive. And like it's almost like double the size of my current office, which is
What are you going to do with all that
Huge.
space?
I
Gonna start
have
playing Just
things-
Dance or something?
I probably will. I have
Yes.
things piled on top of things inside of this office. So the other office being so much more spacious is going to be nice.
Rad. Very cool. Well, let's real quick introduce ourselves and then our characters for anyone that is coming in, get some kind of like a re-up so we can remember. Let's go ahead and start with DJ. Introduce yourself
Alright.
and your character.
My name is DeejayKnight. That's pretty much all there is to know about me. I'm a weird dude. I like to stream on Twitch. Hey, my character is Commander Tuval Sar, who is a half human, half Vulcan, who's really good at like technology, just like really, really good at it. So it's a very interesting character for me because like I have to be very logical about everything. It's very odd, but awesome at the same time. That's it for me.
Awesome. Holly, introduce us to your lieutenant. And
yeah, so hello everyone, I'm Commander Holly on the internet. Also, I play Lieutenant Lily Archer, a fresh out of the academy young officer who wants to be captain one day and will do anything to please her crew and make them love her, and even if it's a terrible idea. So here we are.
taking advantage of our fresh recruit, Captain.
Yeah, my name is Ezekiel III. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I think I'm taking advantage of an opportunity. I'm making a command decision. I don't know how dangerous this is yet, so.
So might as well send the rookie in.
And
So
also,
who cares?
and also, that's why I'm fashioning her with a emergency transport.
Uh-huh. Okay, we'll see how that works.
Oh,
Lieutenant,
boy.
Lieutenant
Wow, when the
Commander.
DM says it, or the GM says it, Jesus
I
Christ.
know that there's a decision that we left kind of in the air last session that might mess with the replicators on ship. That's all I know. That's all I'm
All right.
saying.
All right.
So, PB, tell us about your
Have you watched Star Trek?
Speaking of, I'm PB or Pumpkinberry, and I'm playing Lieutenant Commander Kepler, who is a veteran Starfleet human officer, and she's sort of in a moral quandary right now. She met her old professor when she was getting the equipment inspected for signs of sabotage, and he asked for my help. So I have to decide if I'm going to help him at the risk of my own ship or not.
So did you think on that in the
Mhm.
interim of
Mhm.
yeah? And like this is the
I guess we'll have to see.
we're coming back. Okay, so we're coming back from the commercial break, and we get the few seconds recap from last episode where we see Professor Curtis saying like there is a way that you can help us, and then we get a little bit of a like snapshot to like Pumpkinberry in like sorry, not Pumpkinberry. Lieutenant Commander Kepler is I'm gonna say she's like back on the ship, she's in her quarters, she's recording this log for us that we just heard, and Professor Curtis asked, and I am going to ask you whether or not you put this in your log that you're submitting to the captain, because you've got your personal log, of course, but then you also have your professional log where you say what you did that day and what your mission is. But Professor Curtis asked you for some parts to repair these basically tractors that help to refertilize the ground of this region so that they can grow food to eat. A lot of their fields are lying fallow at the moment. The people here, their import-export tariffs are super high because of the Cardassians setting them super high, and also now they're not able to produce as much food for themselves. So this is the Cardassians. I mean, if it's the Cardassians that are doing the sabotaging, which I think we're all pretty in agreement on, this is the Cardassian trying to get these people to leave, and they're doing a damn fine job of it. So the choice is Lieutenant Commander Kepler can choose to file a report with Starfleet and try and get Starfleet to send out the appropriate parts for these tools, these tractors, in which case like the colony itself has already asked for these supplies before and haven't gotten them yet. They either haven't been sent or the ships that were sending them were interrupted, probably by either the Cardassians or the Maquis, or she can take it on herself and use some of the parts existing within the ship's replicators systems to repair the equipment, in which case the ship's existing replicator systems would be somewhat less reliable, a little more malfunctioning, and they would probably need to be repaired the next time you go to a station, but you're much more likely to go someplace than a colony that's on a planet is. So what do you think Kepler is going to do? Like, let's imagine that you're back on the ship. You did this checking out. You probably put in your log about the fact that you suspect this equipment's been sabotaged. The first thing is what's the decision you're going to make? And the second would be, how much do you or do you not put in your official log that the captain would see?
So in the official log, what the captain will see is that I did mention that they asked us specifically for parts, and I noted the requests. Like, I came back and I pulled up the requests that they made to show that they made them to Starfleet and still haven't gotten the equipment. That's what I'd like to include in my file. And then I would like to see if I can talk to the captain, actually, before I take any further action.
All right, so Lieutenant Commander Kepler submits these logs to you. Where are you right now, Captain? Are you, let's say it's been a little bit of time. You've had time to come back from the colony. Are you in your ready room? Are you in your quarters? Are you on the bridge? Where are you when Kepler hands you her report?
How far along is the emergency transporter device? Is it still in progress?
Yeah, I would say so, because I would like to think that this decision-making process is going to have some bearing on whether or not that is possible or successful. Okay. So, like, let's make this decision before that's, like, finished up. Yeah, just because plot, you know?
Right, sure. Then I'll be in my ready room then.
Okay. So, Kepler, you find the captain in his ready room.
Captain, may I have a word?
Of course, Commander.
Did you have a chance to look at the log that I filed about the farming equipment?
I did, but I'd love to hear your views in person.
Wonderful. I can summarize for you. The farming equipment was absolutely sabotaged, but not by any means that I could, nothing that was exclusively accessible by one party or the other, so I couldn't prove who did the sabotage. However, they did ask me if we could help get them parts. I didn't make any promises, but when I came up, I did check to see how many requests they've made. They've made at least 5, and haven't gotten anything back from Starfleet. Now, the changes that they need to make are actually quite simple. It's difficult for them to get the parts, but we have parts right here on the ship. So it's possible that I could take some from the ship, make the repairs that they need, and everything should still function properly. I'm pretty confident that everything will still be okay. And then when we go back, we can get the parts we need to repair ours.
Did you look into why their requests were not answered, or
Not yet.
Were their requests denied, or were they not answered due to bureaucracy?
If you look at the logs that Kepler has pulled up, you'll notice that 2 requests were sent in fairly quick succession. One was just a regular, and the other one was marked as urgent. After the second request, Starfleet notes that these parts, these replicator parts, have been sent with a supply run. And then after that, there's another log stating that the parts and the supply run were never received, and then 2 more requests for supplies.
So, judging by this report here, it seems like that Starfleet actually sent the parts. Now,
At least twice they did, yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't responded to the later ones.
Right. Have you taken into consideration that these parts may have been intercepted by the Maquis?
I have, but that doesn't help the farmers at this stage.
Farmers might be helping the Maquis, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
We give them parts from our ship, and they just ship them out to the Maquis again.
Well, but they never actually reached the colony. So, I mean, they could be being intercepted by the Maquis or the Cardassians, one or the other, but they aren't willingly, I highly doubt they're willingly handing them over, because they never make it here.
Okay. I'll trust your judgment on that. How detrimental would it be to give them parts of our ship? I mean, it's a beautiful ship, and I'd hate to take it apart.
Yeah, it's just some small things with the replicators. So maybe somebody's coffee doesn't come out as hot as it should, but it's fairly simple what they're needing to be done. So I'm quite confident that we'd be okay for our short trip back.
All right. I'll go with what you think is right, but I'll tell you this. First time someone says the Raktajino is too cold, I'm telling them to contact you.
Yeah, that's fair. Thank you, Captain. I think if we are to ask them to relocate, showing that we were willing to help them out first is a good thing. Thank you.
Absolutely. I understand your thinking on that.
Okay, and then I will leave.
Okay, so I am going to go ahead and have you make a quick roll to see, like, we'll just kind of like skip over this, but basically to see how well you're able to manipulate the replicator systems to kind of like bypass the parts that you're taking away, to see like how well they continue to work after you take what you need. So I'm going to say that you definitely have a focus in transporters and replicators, so there is a focus used on this roll.
Okay.
I think that it's control, and also engineering. And I'm going to say, because you're basically trying to make this this system work without all the parts that it needs, I'm going to give you, let's make the roll a difficulty 3.
Okay.
But you do have the focus. So.
And that's complication or task?
It's not going to be more complicated. You're not going to get like a I think you just roll and we count the number of successes, because I think if you do a task, that means you're rolling extra die, which you can use your determination to add an extra die, but you already have your focus and there's not any whoops.
Did I do that right?
Yes, you did. Okay. So your control and engineering adds up to 17, which means you got 4 successes on the 3 success needed roll. So basically, it's as though these replicators haven't even gotten anything taken out of them. You do such a good job bypassing, using the EPS conduits to bypass the part that they almost, like, some of them even are quicker and faster somehow. I don't know. You'll have to send what you did to whoever works on replicators for the new Intrepid class, because something went very right with your work. Good engineering. You did it.
Thank you.
Yay!
Yay!
So that decision being made and that being done, I would also like to ask, we can definitely go to engineering if you want to talk to Commander Brahms, Captain. If there was, I definitely think that you also have to send a report to Starfleet Command about like your situation here. I definitely want to know about whether you're including your plan concerning Lieutenant Archer in this report, or if you're what do you send to command? What are you telling them that you're doing?
I tell them about the farm equipment, how we're going to repair it with our own gear. I tell them my suspicions that the Maquis may be Maquis or the Cardassians may be intercepting the shipments, and that kind of stuff, to watch out for that from now on. To check to see if whoever was shipping it, if they sent back any sort of like report or subspace message saying like, we detected a blank ship before we were docked or whatever, or a distress call or whatever.
Okay.
I will tell them that about the disappearances or the missing people. I will tell them about the defection of some of the people from this colony to the Maquis. I will tell them about my plan to infiltrate the Maquis with the lieutenant. And also, may I say, Lieutenant is not a rookie. Lieutenant, you have to be in Starfleet for a little while before you get Lieutenant, right?
No, actually, Lieutenant junior grade is basically as if you did a master's course at Starfleet Academy. So she's still fresh out of the academy.
Second guesses there, Turbo?
No,
I think he's just got used to
I'm not.
Definitely 100% not.
Just marching to my death over here.
They're not going to kill you. You're a main character. You have plot armor. And also, they're not going to. I mean, they wouldn't outright kill you. If anything, they'd hold you hostage for like demands.
That's fair.
And I also want to know, Commander Kepler. Last session, you were informed by one of the colonists at the little meeting that they had that her husband was not missing. He was in the Maquis. Did you tell this? Did you include this in your log to the captain? Did you tell this to the captain?
Well, I mean, I told the captain last time. Yeah, I told the captain last session. Okay. For those that don't remember, but I did not include it in my official report.
Okay. So I want to know, last session, remind me, Captain Dren, what were your commands vis-a-vis Commander Sar?
Commander Sar was going to accompany me to the Cardassian police force.
Security office.
There you go. Security office to talk to them about the complaints from the settlers, and see if we can suss out some information and maybe get them to act like like with civility, which they won't, but whatever.
Are you doing anything to prep for that, Sar? Have you told Sar about your plans for Lieutenant Archer? Okay, so you very clearly didn't tell Kepler about your plans for Lieutenant Archer.
Right.
Did you also keep that from your first officer?
No, we discussed it together, and he agreed with me.
Okay, so Sar, you had some time, like everyone else did, back on board the ship to kind of go over the day. You were pretty quiet last time, very much the Vulcan, like absorbing all the available information and making the like your opinion or determination after. What is Sar thinking? We didn't get your log, but I would love to know, like, where are you right now? I'm gonna go ahead and say, because we're just in orbit of this planet, you can probably have some time where you're not needed on the bridge. So, like, where are you now? What are your thoughts on sending Archer in? And are you trying to alter the captain's opinion or commands in any way, or are you just totally okay with where this is going?
I've been kind of like relaxing and just kind of soaking in information. One of the reasons why my character didn't say much last time is waiting for the right time to chime in with, after having heard as much information as possible to digest and actually come to a conclusion before saying anything. I feel like my character is a measure 8 times and cut once kind of character. So it's with the value of precise to a fault, he wants to make sure that if something happens and he's confirming it, this is the best idea. So right now he is researching everything involving the Maquis that can be found, everything involving all of the relevant parties that we're going to be involved with, and not second guessing the plan with Lieutenant Archer, because having been in a bar brawl with Lieutenant Archer and watching her destroy Klingons, it's just like, all right, cool. So, yep, I support this. Like, he's pretty confident that she can handle her own in self-defense if need be. So, for all intents and purposes, he's good with that. That's not even, there's no sleep lost.
Right.
Our commanders are there, and everything else is just trying to find out all information about anybody that's involved that we're going to be interacting with.
Okay. So if you want to do some research to kind of like, I think we've gotten a fair bit of information about like what the Maquis want, and what's been happening in this system generally. If you wanted to do any more research on the like Cardassians that you're going to be visiting in the security office or any of that, I would like definitely allow a roll there to have more info on that. Or if you wanted to learn anything more specific about the Maquis, I definitely think that there are people that you could go to that we've brought up, like that the woman who said her husband was in the Maquis. Also, like there's potentially contacts you can try and make again down on the planet in this other colony or city that you're going to be going to, where the Cardassian security office is. If you wanted to kind of like, you know, find your way into a bar wearing civvies and like be like, ugh, damn Cardassians, you know. So if that was something that you wanted to try and like look up where suspected Maquis affiliated colonists might hang out. I
will be doing research on that.
Do you have anything specific?
Definitely finding out the best places to find anyone that I could discuss anything Maquis related with. So kind of, it's not like half human, half Vulcan can really hide or like easily blend in. Like that's not a.
I mean, you could always wear a beanie like Spock tried to do all that time.
But definitely finding out who to talk to and where. That would be.
Okay. I'm going to say this role is probably either daring or insight and security. And I would give you difficulty 2 with... you'll still get some information if you don't get enough successes, but it'll be a lot more helpful if you can get difficulty 2.
Right. And that's the complication range?
The complication range is just nil. That's a different thing. That'll be like you'll get a trait or a location trait or a scene trait that will make it harder to do the rolls.
All right, go.
We're mostly not using that rule right now.
I'm trying to get used to the rolling. It's been a while
Yeah,
since I've rolled.
there's a lot of different things. If you had any, I don't think you really have any focuses that could help. I definitely think that, let me just check and
Well,
see.
my primary focus is negotiation. Well, one of my
Yeah,
focuses
but this is more like trying to find where
Right.
the mob guys or the less than savory characters hang out. You know, like I don't really think
Yeah.
negotiation is gonna help you there.
So-
Lieutenant Archer has hand-to-hand combat, so she might be able to find out where, if you're looking for a fight, or where some like hot-headed people might be hanging out, if you're willing to consult. Otherwise, this rolls on your own.
I'm just trying to roll.
I can definitely assist.
Let me
No, he won. He didn't have to roll any dice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not trying to roll.
Okay,
dice. I'm
so
trying to figure out
don't
who's
do
rolling.
challenge dice. Click the top one, task roll.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, well, you got even better than I did. Why do you guys just roll really well all the time? I hate it a lot. No, I'm kidding. I love it when you guys don't fail. This is my favorite system that's ever been used. Okay, so you get one above the difficulty. So I think that even without consulting anyone, you look through the information that you have on Valon 3 and the city that you'll be going to that has the Cardassian security office, and you find out that the area where the Cardassian security office is like a very like business area. People don't tend to go there for reasons other than just doing their job and then leaving. There's also a lot of other Cardassian businesses and like any Cardassians who have like work on this planet have like all live in the same area. In a different sector of this city, there's been a lot more reports of maybe like not necessarily rioting, but like people God, what's the word I'm looking for when they're like waving the
Protesting?
protesting. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. People protesting the Cardassian control tariffs and the like. There's one particular neighborhood where these protests tend to happen. In that neighborhood, there is definitely I guess it's probably like a seedy bar where there have been reports of different bar fights that have been broken up here, like more than anywhere else. The Cardassians like to occasionally just like go through here and make trouble. And like there's definitely been more people arrested in this one location and the surrounding area for potential like traitorous acts than anywhere else. The bar is called what is the bar called, DJ?
Dead of Night.
Okay, it's called the Dead of Night. It's mostly beer, liquor, synthahol. Also known for having a fair few people that could be bought to spend time with, ?
Pros. We call them
Company.
pros.
Yes, professionals. Absolutely.
Those of an older profession.
So if you were a Maquis, this would be probably the most likely place that you would find others of your kind. Also, it's a pretty dangerous place to be because, as you know, the Cardassians also know that there are people who are Maquis that hang out here. And with that extra success, we don't really have more stuff in this particular scene. We're kind of just setting up. So I'll just give you some more information. You know that the Cardassian overseer of the entire demilitarized zone, Golivek, is right now visiting the Cardassian security office on this planet. So he is present here as well. So that's the information.
Pass all relevant information to the captain and the lieutenant as well, or the lieutenant commander as well.
Okay, so are you gonna, let's say we have a senior staff meeting where we're going over the plans. I think that Commander Brahms would be there to give you the report on her progress. And obviously, we've got Commander Gabriel, Chief Tactical Officer, there as well. The rest of our crew is there. Do you invite Lieutenant Archer to be here? You haven't yet kind of determined where to drop her off to try and infiltrate. But I'm assuming that Commander Sar has given you some of this information already.
Yes.
So it's once we'll do the briefing with everybody that's here plus
The NPCs that are
plus
relevant.
Engineer Brahms,
Okay.
and then I will call Lieutenant Archer in
Okay.
after Brahms has left. So all like the bridge.
And I'm not there, I would assume, because otherwise I would know what's going on.
I mean,
You're there. Yeah, you're there.
You're a senior officer.
Yeah.
Like you have every
Okay.
right to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is before anything has happened.
Okay.
And I've already I've basically made my decision, but if this plan needs help, I would definitely include you in it.
Okay.
He's
Oh,
just
so
maybe a
wait.
little nervous about your response.
Oh yeah. Are you divulging the plan right now though?
Well, let's see.
You keep
Yeah.
saying I'm nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm the fucking captain.
Okay.
Okay.
I know what I'm doing.
So let's set the scene. You are all in the senior officers room. You've got the windows looking out on the planet below. Everyone is seated. The captain, commander, Lieutenant Commander Kepler, Commander Brahms, Commander Bell. All of you are here. Captain, what's you're giving, so I'm assuming that actually Commander Sar, you're giving the rundown of all the information you found. We can just like, you're standing by the screen.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Like, we'll discuss all of our stuff, and Commander Brahms will stay here because I need to talk to her about this, and she's a part of this mission anyway, this infiltration mission, so she'll stay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just call Lieutenant Archer in after we've covered like the card, like what me and the Commander Sar are doing, and what Commander Kepler has found and all that kind of stuff. After that briefing, and then we'll call her in.
Absolutely. At any point, you can just like, you know, Commander Lieutenant Archer, just like summon her. She's probably standing at the tactical station right outside anyway. But for right now,
So I'm not there yet.
No, not yet.
Okay.
For right now, the rest of the PCs are in here with some NPC officers, and Sar, you are probably just finishing up going over the information that you just found. Let's continue on from there.
Okay. So, Commander Sar, how do you, how would you like to proceed in this manner?
I feel the best course of action would be to go in as stealthily as possible. This may be near impossible, but we want to make sure that Lieutenant Archer has the best ability to go in to the dead of night and be received. While she's doing this, we simultaneously need to at least show up, because the dead of night is the who's who, essentially, of the Maquis.
Lieutenant Commander Kepler, this is your first time hearing
Yeah.
about Archer being.
So I'm sorry, I was under the impression that we were still with all the random different officers.
Yes.
Are we alone now?
No, I mean like your senior staff are here.
Oh,
So
okay.
It's just you guys, the tactical officer, and Brahms, the chief engineer. Maybe
Okay.
there's also a doctor. I don't know.
Cool. Okay. That's fine. So all the only people I want in here are the ones that are here plus Brahms, and I'm going to call in Lieutenant Archer. So when Commander Sar gets done saying that, I interrupt. I think it's time we bring Lieutenant Archer in here, and Commander Kepler will bring you up to speed as to our upcoming plans for this mission.
So are you dismissing your chief tactical officer? Commander Bell? He was here.
If it's like main top tier bridge crew, then no.
Okay, it's only senior staff that are in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, you're like, I only want Brahms here, and I wanted to make sure what you were saying. Okay, sorry, go on.
Yeah. So who we have in here is me, Commander Sar, Commander Kepler, Brahms, and who is the
Commander Bell, the chief
Commander
tactical
Bell.
officer.
There we go.
Yeah.
And now we'll call in Lieutenant Archer, and that's all that's in here.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. No, I'm not dismissing anybody who's rank.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So I do that. I say, we'll bring you up to speed. Let's bring Lieutenant Archer in here, and we'll bring everybody up to speed as to what is our plans going forward and what we have discussed. Lieutenant Archer to the meeting room, please. What is it called? It's not the ready room.
It would probably just be like the senior staff meeting room.
Okay. Lieutenant Archer to the senior staff meeting room.
You realize she's just been like outside the door the whole time. And
Just waiting, just like listening. You don't even finish saying it. You're just like, let's call her in. Lieutenant, I'm here.
Lieutenant Archer to the ho. There you are.
Yes, Commander. I mean, Captain. I mean, everyone. Hello.
All right. For those of you who don't know, I approached Lieutenant Archer down on the surface with a plan to infiltrate the Maquis. There are a couple of reasons why I chose her to do this task. One, she's motivated. She's energetic. She's new. I needed someone new. It would be harder to believe that someone who has been in Starfleet for as long as any of us have flipped so casually or so quickly. And it's not necessarily that I want her to convince them that she's flipped. Just convince them that she's curious so she can get more information. Now, I put a plan into works to give her an exit, an emergency transport that Commander Brahms is working on right now. It is in progress to see if we can't get that.
Yes, Captain.
completed.
We've been working on that down in engineering, just trying to make it a little more discreet, sir.
Now, the Maquis are a unknown entity. I'm not sure what kind of people they are, but they are from the Federation, so we have a little bit of knowledge at least about them, about possibly what values they hold. I was going to put this plan into action as soon as the transporter, emergency transport was functional. If anybody has any objections to this plan, now's the time to speak up.
Can I ask why you didn't ask me?
Ask you?
Yeah, for the transporters. This is literally what I do. Why am I just hearing about this now?
Because you're hearing about it now.
Lieutenant Brahms is like sitting there, just like awkwardly sitting back in the chair, like, yep, I suggested that. And he said no. So she's not saying anything, but it's very much like, I don't want to be in the middle of this.
Yeah, I've placed myself between them and one of those like 80s plants that are on the Enterprise for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm just like, one of the fronds is just covering my face so I don't have to see them argue.
Mom and Dad are fighting. Okay, but yeah, Brahms is definitely like a little uncomfortably sinking back into her chair because she remembers suggesting exactly that to the captain.
For two reasons. I wanted to gauge the viability of this plan before I even put it into action. And 2, I had work for you to do that you were doing. You did valuable work, and I didn't want to interrupt that. I'm telling you now, nothing has happened yet. If you would like to help Commander Brahms with the transporter device, I fully encourage you to do so.
That's literally what I do. That is my main focus. I don't understand why you would put Archer's life in the line with somebody who doesn't understand transporters the way. Why wouldn't you put your best person on it? I don't understand this. Not only are you asking basically a cadet who's already gone through a traumatic experience to go out and play
Sorry, Holly.
And play, soldier and kind of put her life on the line, but you're also, I'm just shocked that you would do so without using your best people to make sure nothing happened to her.
Just for, because the captain is a betazoid, like what kind of emotional reaction is he getting from you right now?
I'm feeling very betrayed. I'm not angry. I'm feeling very hurt.
Listen, I understand where you're coming from. But this is not pertinent to what's happening right now. If you feel like I've stepped over your head or gone over your head in a matter that you find yourself as an expert, I'll admit that. Right now, what I want from you, Commander, are solutions or different options.
For some people in chat that might not remember, when we did the roll for events that have happened that have most affected these characters' lives, Kepler and Captain Dren had already had an instance where Kepler did what Captain Dren had ordered, but it was against her better judgment. So that's probably one of the main reasons why she's kind of going outside the command structure here. It's not just like willy-nilly.
And that's 100%. Why I'm not like
I just
totally jumping her shit right now.
I just noticed that there were some comments in chat, and I wanted to remind everybody that like they have some history here.
Yeah, we have a history.
Yeah.
He's betrayed me before, but it didn't end so well for either of us. So that's why he's being so generous with my outburst. Yeah, I will help Leah. Absolutely. I will take a look. Archer, I will try my hardest to make sure that this emergency transporter works for you.
What? Yes, sir.
God damn it, Holly. You are the comedic relief, and I love it. At the same time, like after this little outburst has been kind of settled and the room feels a little less tense, Commander Bell speaks up and says, Captain, where is it exactly that we intend to plant our rogue operative? And do we have any kind of information or reconnaissance on the location? Do we know that the Maquis are there? Do we know how we intend to convince them to accept Lieutenant Archer into their midst?
I'd love to hear this.
As I've been the one to do the research, I feel I would be best to speak on the situation. The Dead of Night is known widely throughout the colony to be a Maquis not necessarily a recruiting ground, but it is definitely the place where much of the Maquis resistance tends to hang out for gatherings, social gatherings, and whatnot. This seems to be one of the better places to place Lieutenant Archer, with so many people that are all Maquis, and with her ability to defend herself. We feel that if there is anyone to be looked into this, this would be the best location.
Do we have anyone that can alter her files in any way? Why is it, Lieutenant Archer, I don't know that we've had a conversation. I'm Commander Bell, Chief Tactical Officer.
Nice to meet you, sir.
What is it that we are supposed to be telling these Maquis about why a young and, quite accomplished Starfleet lieutenant would be betraying her post right after being assigned to one of the flagships of the Federation? The Maquis aren't just going to nod and agree and let you see their secret posts.
If I may, sir, I believe that my past at Starfleet might give me a bit of an advantage here, considering that I lost my entire crew to the Borg. I could easily have blamed it on Starfleet and not on myself, and I believe I could sway that to persuade them.
Do you have any negative run-ins with the Cardassians specifically?
Not that I'm aware of, sir.
I mean, it's definitely possible. From my knowledge, the Maquis tend to check through their Starfleet contacts the logs of anyone coming from Starfleet. I haven't heard exactly what happens when these checks lead to uncovering lies about the background of the officers, but it's probably best that we stick as close to the truth as possible.
Agreed.
So we plant Lieutenant Archer in the dead of night and wait? Or how do you think it would be best to go about getting the Maquis' attention here?
If I may.
Absolutely.
Captain.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I feel one of the best ways to infiltrate this sort of area is to go in as closely as possible. Captain, and I believe you and I would be looking into this location regardless, but having Lieutenant Archer nearby would not be a bad idea. This would give us the capability of creating a bit of a distraction, where somehow we get into an argument, and Lieutenant Archer firmly disagrees with what we're saying and storms off to another area in the bar. That would give us a situational ability to make it seem as if we want nothing to do with her, which would give her the ability to be more received well by the Maquis.
And if they do their homework like the commander said they do, it's not very difficult to put reprimands in their record. Of course.
It's not difficult to place them. It might be more difficult to clean Lieutenant Archer's record after the fact. But
you see her be like, "Ah!"
I'm sorry, Lieutenant Commander, you were talking?
Oh, I just said Sar might be able to help with that.
Let me just... Do we have anyone who studied computers? Oh, or is just science probably the closest thing we have? Did anyone study computers? No?
My character understands technology better than people, so
You'd be the best.
wouldn't this be like a Starfleet thing? Like I tell them about the mission and then they like.
Oh, you could definitely like tell them about the undercover operation you're planning. Absolutely, and see,
I'm
see if
not
they're
going to
willing
clandestinely like plant shit in her in her file. I'm going to like tell Starfleet, can we put some?
She's so upset.
Yes, you
some,
can
like,
definitely ask someone at Starfleet Command to alter
Okay.
her records.
Okay. And then make them pinky swear that they'll put them back when we're done.
Yeah, I think Commander Bell was going like, of course we can change the records. We'll just put some like actual fresh like negative remarks on there, but taking them off again would be another thing entirely. But yes, you could ask someone at Starfleet Command to falsely plant those demerits. Absolutely.
I think that would be a good start. Commander Sar. We could have a disagreement with the lieutenant. And we could leave and she would feel the need arise to get out her complaints and how she can see where the Maquis are coming from, where not the Maquis, but the settlers are coming from. She doesn't see the morality in what we're doing. Lieutenant, do you think you can handle that?
She's been taking notes this whole time. It's like, sympathize with settlers. How are they doing? And she just looks up and she's like, "Yep, yes, sir, yes, sir." If there's any other information, I'm just keeping a log of it just so that I can try and memorize it before I have to go into the field.
Right. How do you really feel about this mission? I want you to be honest with me. Remember.
She thinks for a second, like, you can tell? But she just looks at it like, Sir, I am going to do the best of my abilities to help Starfleet and our crew and these people of the colony. And I am not afraid to pretend to be someone that I'm not in the line of duty.
All right.
You can tell she's not afraid. She's afraid of talking to you, but she's not afraid of the mission.
More afraid of disappointing than...
She's afraid of disappointing more than dying.
All right. We'll work out what we're going to say. In a little bit, we're still waiting on that transporter device.
Certainly now that Kepler is free and available, we would love to get any help that she can give down in engineering.
Absolutely.
All right.
Give me some time to get caught up on that, Captain.
Of course. Commander Sar, this dead of night bar, in your estimation, do you think there would be any reason for us as Starfleet officers not to be in there? Would we seem out of place if we went there to recreate?
It would seem as if it's out of our traditional range compared to our ship and where we originally landed. So it would seem out of sorts for us to be there. But if we were to somehow get a rover, find our way nearby, just to seem as if we're exploring the area to find more about what's going on. That way we will not be hiding our true intentions, but we can rework this into our argument.
Right.
And from an outside perspective, it's probably you already reportedly there's proof that you were at the other settlement on Volan 3 asking questions about the settlers' disagreements. This is less formal, but not completely strange for you to be trying to get more information about settlers like disagreements with the Cardassians and so on and so forth in this area. Like, it's still Federation colonists, right?
Sure.
Even though they're a little bit more rough and tumble.
Cool. And this, and we can definitely mask it, or excuse me, and we can definitely mask it in the actual fact that we are here to hear their complaints and to see what we can do to help them. So, right. I think we all have our orders here and our missions. So, get to it. Dismissed.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you, Captain. And as she walks out, you just see her like hit the plant, like, and then just like keep going.
Beautiful. Okay, so I think that there's, yeah.
Sorry, before we're done, Commander Kepler, if I could have a word, please.
Of course, Captain.
I didn't want to say it in front of the others, but due to our history, I wasn't sure how you'd react to the mission that I'm planning. So I kept you out of the loop. That was a mistake. It won't happen again. I want you to know that I trust you. And I trust your commitment to Starfleet. I was out of line.
Thank you, Captain.
All right.
Might I make a suggestion?
Of course.
I did just remove a bunch of parts that they desperately need down there. Perhaps Archer could deliver those parts?
I see where your head's at. Get some alone time. A little less suspicious if she's actually doing what's part of our mission. I agree. Let her know and get her on it.
Absolutely, Captain.
All right. See you on the surface.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think that we could use a roll from Kepler again, just to see how well you and obviously Commander Brahms make up this less than detectable emergency like pattern enhancer for Lieutenant Archer. So I think this is going to be control and engineering again.
Okay.
You have transporters and replicators as a focus, so yes, you're using a focus. And I would say trying to both make a pattern enhancer that can work like anywhere on the planet basically that they take her, and also one that won't be like found when they pat her down and remove her like everything else, like her badge and stuff, her communicator. It's probably gonna be let's do 4. So but Brahms is assisting you, so I will give a roll for Brahms, who is obviously also a really good engineer. Or you can just fucking blow. Why are you rolling 4 dice here? Sorry.
I'm not sure.
You don't need to click extra dice on your task roll.
Oh, okay.
That would be if you had more dice from buying them with determination or momentum, or
okay.
you can also buy dice from giving to threat, which would allow me to insert complications at any time. You are going to get, I'll say, like, you can probably just get another die for Commander Brahms helping you instead of having her roll for herself. So
Yeah.
roll 3 die.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So on this roll, as you guys can see, we got a 20, which means that we do get a complication here. After the fact, you can choose to still roll another die to try and get the success. You can use I think determination will give you an automatic 2 successes, but that's fairly hard to get back. Adding to threat will give you another die to roll. We don't have any momentum as of yet, but what did you get on your previous roll? You got 1 above what you needed. I would say you could go ahead and like count that extra success on your previous roll to give you another momentum if you want to try and roll an extra die from that.
Okay. Complication range would still be 4, right?
Complication range is the same as it was before.
Okay.
It shouldn't be 4. It should just be 1, because that means that you only get a complication at 20. Whereas if your complication range is 4, that means you can get complications from 16 and up.
Okay, so I just rolled with a complication of 4 because I thought that was
20
the difficulty.
though.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah, no, I know, but I just thought that was that was the difficulty. So where am I increasing the difficulty for this?
You don't have to put in what the difficulty die is. We just see how many successes you get. You put in how many d20s you're rolling.
Perfect.
So you have 3 successes right now. You need 1 more, and you can get it by using your momentum from your previous replicator's roll, or by adding to threat from the, like, you can give me another threat, which would allow me to do nasty things to you later.
Yeah. Okay.
Not in that way. Wow. Sorry. I just got it.
The rest of us are like, oh, okay.
Took me a second.
I will use the momentum from the previous roll if that's okay.
So that will give you 1 d20 to roll. So you can go ahead and if you're, so you got your extra success. So because you have a complication, I'm going to go ahead and copy pasta and add to our complications. So basically the complication here is that you got it, you made a discrete transport pattern enhancer for Lieutenant Archer, but it's definitely like it works and you think it works and it's fine, but I can decide to use that later and be like, oh, she's too far underground, or like, so it's not like you think it works, but for me, like, you got a d20, so there's a potential complication there. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that underneath complications on the sheet.
Okay.
If you whine too much, it stops working.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to, it's not that they're going to find it, and it's not that it's not working because you did succeed on that roll. It's just that, like, there's that opportunity for me as GM to be like, oh, right, there was a complication with this.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, but I don't know that,
No.
so I can't even warn her or anything either.
No.
I'm like, this should work. Okay, great.
And it should work. Like, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I just, like, there can be, like, maybe it takes a little bit longer or something, you know. It's just in the GM thing, complications gives me the opportunity to, like, have another thing happen. Maybe it's just a little bit more difficult of a transporter test to get her off of the surface, right?
Okay.
Yeah. It's not that it doesn't work or that they find it or anything.
I honestly just pictured Spaceballs when they put President Scroob's ass on backwards. Like, why didn't you tell me my ass is so big?
Okay, so we did that, and then Lieutenant Archer, are you doing anything to kind of prepare for your outing? I definitely think that, like, you you have the opportunity to, like, I don't know, try and, like, get advice from anybody you know who might, like, be a little bit more rebellious than you, or like talk to any of the tactical people, or, like, I don't know. Is there anything that you wanted to do?
Well, first I'm going to go through all of their files and see if anyone has ever gotten demerits for distrusting Starfleet.
Okay. You're only a lieutenant junior grade. So, like, keep that in mind when you're rolling for this, but you can definitely, like, look through the crew files that you have available.
Yeah, I'm just going to look through the crew files and see if there's anyone who might be able to help me.
Okay, I'm going to say this is insight and security.
Okay.
Maybe Starfleet protocol might be a focus you could use here. So sure, put focus use, yes. And then I'm gonna say this is pretty simple. Let's just make it a 2.
Okay.
For task roll.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so you got it. So this is a pretty new ship, and it's just been restaffed with like a hand-selected staff by the captain. I would say it's up to Captain Dren whether or not, well, Captain Dren and Commander Kepler, whether their previous experience was enough for like a demerit or any kind of mark to be on Commander Kepler's record about like, because obviously you still went along and did as you were told, Kepler. That was, but you felt like it was betraying your personal idea of like what's right and wrong. So like, was it something where like you got into an argument and it was put on your record that you might not be the most like easy to work with of the people on this ship, or like was it just a personal thing and it never really went far enough to get on your record? Like, what do you guys think? I think it would be interesting to have Lieutenant Archer going to Kepler, like just like personally as the GM, like keeping it within the PC family. But if you guys don't think that that would be the case, then that is totally fine.
I don't think that Kepler,
like, it doesn't have to be a demerit. It could just be like a note. Or I
think there's probably a note in the file, just because it's funny because she sees probably a lot of Archer or herself in Archer, because she did the same thing. She blindly followed, thinking, okay, but they must know better than me, and ended up having that moral issue after the fact. So I don't think she was insubordinate or anything like that. But Archer, if you do want to look, you will see that both the captain and I were on a previous mission where he was not a captain at the time, but he was my superior, and I did listen to him, and some people died in our team because of it. Because of what happened.
Yeah, maybe you put in, maybe it wasn't on your record, maybe it's on the captain's record that you put in like a command log. Like when you did your report from the mission, you put in like, I personally think that this was the wrong decision, but obviously I followed my commanding officer or whatever. Like maybe that's like, she brings up the log from this previous mission you two were on together that was a little dicey, and she sees that you, Commander Kepler, put in a note that like, even though I didn't like, I there was a little bit of a like personal issue, but it didn't interfere with the mission, obviously, because if it did, then there would have been an actual demerit.
Yeah.
So it's probably on like, just because it's more interesting, honestly. It's probably on somewhere in the records of the bridge crew. You find like, oh, Commander Kepler and Captain Dren were on a mission together that like was really stressful, and maybe there was a little bit of this sort of like subterfuge or like spy kind of shit going on before in this previous mission, which is why you bring it up, and you notice that Kepler had some like personal feelings, but she didn't actually go so far as to like be rebellious, or like, obviously she's not Maquis, she's not an actual like Starfleet rebel. She still very much believes in Starfleet protocol, but there is that information for you to find that maybe she can give you a little bit more insight into how it feels to not necessarily 100% without any doubts or anything trust your commanding officers and the structures of Starfleet.
Okay. I will take note of that. I think I might be too worried to talk to her about it.
Aww.
So I'm a little too scared. So sorry, Paco is just tooting in the background. Okay, Paco. Okay, it's done. Yeah, so I'm probably just going to like read about that and take note of that, and like it does plant a little seed of doubt, like, oh, maybe if something goes wrong, like maybe I should, I don't want people to die, but then I get back on track. It's only like brief, it's fleeting. And I don't know if like we're going incognito, but I want to make myself a little like outfit.
I think that
so I look roguish.
I think that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you guys are going in specifically as Starfleet officers, and then you're going to like make a scene.
Could I like fashion maybe a cape?
No, you're wearing your uniform.
I don't know. It's like, when it's like when Master Chief for that one image had like the cloak over his Master Chief outfit. You don't know why.
No, you can dress up like a Maquis later.
Okay, all right, fine. I look all prim and proper. I walk in with like the cape, and I feel like you guys are like, no, and I'm like, okay.
It's like we're not going on the holodeck, Lily.
No,
please.
No, yeah.
This isn't a holodeck episode.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the next time. It's a one shot. It's a holodeck episode. The queue is there. I don't know. It's fine.
That'd be amazing.
Okay, so is there anything else that people wanted to do before this mission? We have Brahms and or Kepler deliver the transport enhancer. You have information about like where this bar is, and you can definitely like get like, I don't know, some layout so that you know if there's like a back door or anything. It's not super complicated, but is there anything else you wanted to do before we go down to the surface?
Well, I think just to reiterate the plan now that I made a suggestion to the captain, Archer, you can come. We're going to go together, and we're going to go down and see somebody that an old colleague of mine. We respect each other. I'd like to think he trusts me. If we introduce you in this manner, and then you say that you are headed to the bar after we leave, you invite me, I'm going to decline, and then you go on. I think word will probably get around that that you are somebody that they can approach. But we'll initially go together. I think, anyway.
Okay, so I think in the interests of time, the best way to do this would be to make a roll about like how persuasive and also like how subtle you are about introducing Archer. You haven't necessarily gotten any hints from your professor that he is actually in the Maquis, but I think it's fairly safe to say that anyone in the Federation colonies in the demilitarized zone has some connection or other to the Maquis.
Okay.
So let's just go ahead and check. This is gonna be, so you're trying to,
I just want it to be like able to be corroborated, like if she goes down and into the bar, I want somebody to be like, oh, that was the girl who delivered the parts earlier, just so that they aren't just going in by themselves. I'm terrified everybody's gonna die and I'm too attached to this miniseries. Like, I can't.
Okay, so quick question. Are you, for the sake of trying to be like more like the Maquis, are you making it seem like you're doing this behind your captain's back?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be daring.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's also, I think that I'll have you roll daring and engineering because you're specifically delivering the parts that they need. Archer is definitely involved in this, so you'll do the main role, Kepler, with daring and engineering. And then Archer, I think, will do a like supporting role to find out how well she influences their perceptions of her. So Archer, you would roll a 1-die task roll. So this is when you click the 1. And yours, I think, is going to be also daring because you're trying to make it seem like you're the type of people that would fit in with the Maquis. But I think yours is going to be daring and security, Archer. So you'll roll 1 die, and then you'll
put it on 1, and then also no focus. It's persuasion, so
I would say that you could use persuasion as a focus here if you have
Okay.
persuasion.
I do, yeah.
And then Kepler, you're going to be rolling your regular 2 die. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
And the difficulty is probably 3. I'm trying to be subtle about it. Okay. Wow. I need to make the difficulties harder.
So should I add a difficulty
Yes,
or no?
because oh, sorry, you don't need to add difficulty. You never add difficulty. You're just gonna
Okay.
roll task roll at 1 because you're only rolling 1 die.
Okay.
But you also pass, so there's no like complications involved with you. So basically, you both deliver the parts. You Kepler make it seem like a little bit like I know Starfleet hasn't given permission, but I'm delivering them anyway. And then introduce Lily in a way where they see both of you as being both empathetic to their plight and also like willing to do more, basically. And then you can definitely let drop like, we've heard good things about this bar in the next city over. If you knew anybody who might need some help, wink, wink, like we'll be there.
Yeah.
So I think now is a good time to have our commercial break. We'll go ahead and get ready for our hopefully not another bar brawl. And you,
No guarantees.
Captain Dren and Commander Sar can decide about your little play acting that you'll be doing. So we'll be right back, everyone. See you very, very soon. And yeah, get ready for a not fight. Totally not going to be a fight. No.
Oh, no. What's a fight?
All right.